All right, guys. I'm not. Oh, here we go. It's started, apparently. Not sure if you guys can see me because it's showing as a black screen now, but okay, there we go. So, anyway, I have a crazy story for you guys to tell. I can't. That didn't make any sense at all. Let me restate that. I have a crazy story to tell you guys. So I couldn't do this a couple days ago because the police were still doing an investigation and stuff. But finally, the family has been notified, and we were actually able to kind of spread the story of what happened. So, in the title, it says "we," because this was actually with my friend Beck or Rebecca or whatever you want to call her, along with her dad and her sister's boyfriend Justin. So her dad's name is Glenn, by the way. So if I say Glenn during the story, then you guys will understand who I'm talking about. So, back in 2017, there was this guy in my area who went missing. He was like on a hunting trip or something, and he was riding a four-wheeler around in the woods. And the police think that he ran out of gas, and he kind of like got lost trying to find help. So yeah, so we actually solved this case, and never in a million years did I think that we would ever do something like this. But we did, and my mind is just still blown, you guys. Like you don't even know how crazy this actually feels to have solved a missing persons case from 4 years ago. So anyway, let's just get into the story. So I was out at Beck's cottage this weekend along with her dad, her sister's boyfriend, her sister, and Beck herself. And her sister, I think, had to go to work or something, so she couldn't come with on the four wheelers with us. So it was just the four of us: me, Justin, Glenn, and Rebecca. So, or Beck, or whatever you want to call her. So we decided to go four wheeling, and they got into their side by side, which is kind of like I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's kind of like a four wheeler mixed with a truck. It has like usually like two seats in the front. Sometimes they can have four, and also like a box in the back so you can put stuff in, almost like a pickup truck. So yeah, so they got into that, and then me and Beck got onto our four wheeler, and we just went down a random trail that I have never been on before. They said that they have, but me and Rebecca had some drama going on before, so we hadn't talked for a while, and then she finally kind of reconnected with me, and this was just one of the times that we were having just still reconnecting together. And again, this was just this weekend as well. So, so yeah, it was. Where was I? Okay, we were on a trail. It was obviously maintained by people that are out there, I guess. So, yeah, we were driving down there, and then all of a sudden we came across this random bushed-in, overgrown trail that it looks like nobody had ever been down for like years. So, we at first we actually weren't even going to go down there, but Beck had like this gut feeling, I guess, that we should go down that trail because people get those gut feelings sometimes, and you should always trust your gut. So we listened. Well, Beck listened to that, and then she's like, okay, well, you know what, we should just go down this trail. And then so we did, and so about, I'd say maybe 10 minutes of driving down that trail, we came across this tree that had fallen down, and Justin had to get out of the side by side to be able to move it so we could actually get through the trail. And as we were stopped, he happened to look over to his right. So, yeah, like I said, he happened to look over to his right, and then we saw this four wheeler over off in the field. In this little kind of like clearing or opening or whatever you want to call it, field, whatever, in the middle of the trees. And as he was looking, he noticed this red four wheeler, his red Honda TRX four wheeler, and he's like, "Oh, that might actually be the guy's bike that went missing a couple years ago." And at that point, I've never heard of this story because I really don't keep up with the news and stuff too much. But anyway, yeah. So I never heard about the story. So coincidentally, though, I was the only one who had just enough service to look it up. And this is a story that I pulled up, the first link that I clicked. And on the bike, there was a license plate, according to Beck, because I asked her, is there a license plate on the bike? Because she was closest to the bike. And then she says yes, and then started reading this out to me as I was looking at the number on a news report. And as soon as she read the last digit, which was the 8, we were just blown away, because I was like, that's it. That's the bike. And I don't know, it's just crazy, honestly, to think about. So after that, we stood around and talked for a little bit. And then there was also a helmet, I guess, that the guy was wearing. It was in the middle of the trail, and I assumed that he was using it as like a marker so he could find his way back to his bike if he got lost or whatever. I'm referring to the guy who went missing, by the way. So anyway, yeah, so we thought it was a marker at first. So anyway, Beck had to move the helmet so we can actually get by through the rest of the trail, so we can go and find some service, so we could actually make a call to 911. So we made our way through the trail. It was about half an hour of driving, I'd say. Beck's bike was overheating. The side-by-side was almost really, like, completely destroyed because of all the trees and stuff that were kind of hitting it and ripping stuff off. In fact, they had like a light bar on the side-by-side, and that was also like ripped off by some of the trees hitting the bike and stuff. So, but you know what? We decided to keep going because it was worth a good cause. It was worth it. And so, yeah. So after about, I would say 45 minutes of driving, or half an hour, I'd say maybe, we came across another maintained trail, which we made a left on. And about 5 minutes or so of driving down that trail, we found the remains of a campfire, which looked pretty old. It was like all charred, burnt, like pieces of wood and stuff. And we also saw like a tin can that looks like somebody had possibly cooked over that fire and then ate whatever was in it, I guess. So yeah, we took pictures of that. We marked it with some marking tape, and then we continued down that trail until we finally found a clearing that had service, so we can actually call the police and stuff. So we called the cops. They made us wait in that area for about, I'd say, half an hour. And then finally they said, okay, you can go back to your camp or whatever. So we went back to Rebecca's cottage area, and we waited around until like about 10 p.m. Anyway, then a cop came around that time to take our statements, and as well as take pictures of the pictures that we had on our phones. Because obviously we took pictures, and here's some of them right here. So here's a license plate of the bike. Sorry, let me just close that out. Here's a license plate on the bike. This is the bike itself that was in the woods that we saw. Let me just check my chat real quick. And then over here, this is the helmet that Beck had to move out of the way so we can actually get by. And then there's the police cars and stuff that we saw the next day, which I'll get into in a minute. So anyway, the cop came to take our statements and the pictures that we had on our phones. And then he said, okay, well, we'll be back around 9 a.m. the next morning. So obviously we waited until 9, and then Glenn and Justin went out and kind of showed the cops where the location was that we found the bike. And they stayed out for quite a bit of time with the cops. And that is when Rebecca and I, because we were still at the camp, because we weren't really allowed to go because obviously the police were doing an investigation and they only wanted one vehicle or whatever to go with them. So me and Rebecca were going to the nearest town, which was Matachewan, Ontario, to get some snacks from the convenience store that they have there. And then we came across, like on the way there, as we were heading out to the highway, which is quite a bit of way down a dirt road which leads to their camp. We saw this little clearing area where they had the police cars and stuff, and they had the trailers for the ATVs and shit as well, or stuff, I should say. Can't really swear here, because, yeah. But anyway, so we saw that, and then on the way back, we saw the police cars pulling out and stuff. And like as we were heading back from when we were getting snacks and stuff, so we saw the police cars pulling out and going towards Matachewan and stuff, which I believe there's also a police station there. So they were going kind of bring the evidence and stuff there that they found. And anyway, on the way back in, about halfway towards Beck's camp, her dad Glenn started driving his truck towards the highway, and he was like behind the police and stuff, and he was going home to shower or something because we were in the middle of nowhere, so we don't really have anywhere to like shower or anything. So he was going home to shower, and he stopped us, and he's like, "Hey, they found the body and stuff," and we were really amazed, honestly, because they've been searching for the guy for like 4 years now, almost 4 years. And we were the ones who solved it. But anyway, he said that they found the body, and we were again amazed. And he's like, "Oh yeah, so you guys drove, like all of us drove right past the body apparently, and we didn't even notice when we were driving towards the exit to that trail, so we can actually go find service," which was honestly pretty amazing. That we didn't even notice it. And apparently his body was just covered with a vest or something that he was wearing. And the police, all they did was just move it, and then there he was. I guess it blended in pretty well with the ground, though, because we didn't even notice it, honestly. But yeah, so as far as I'm aware, though, everything is kind of cleared off the scene except the four-wheeler, which I believe they are going to be airlifting with a police helicopter. I'm not really sure where it's going, but we will find out, I guess. So, yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story. So, I might actually do another live stream eventually with Beck as well, so she can tell her part of the story. And also, the news guy from the local news station just contacted me today as well. He's like, here, I'll read the messages to you guys. He said, "Hey Dustin, it's Darren McDonald from CTV News," which is like the news station around here. "Someone sent me the incredible Facebook post that you posted about the discovery that you made last weekend. Do you have any time to speak about what happened with me today?" And I just responded, and I sent him Glenn's number, which is Rebecca's dad, and they're gonna contact him and talk to him about the story, which honestly I'm still blown away. And also on a news report it said that there was a reward, which was $2,000, but honestly we don't really care about the reward. We just care about bringing peace and closure to the family involved, because obviously when you have a loved one missing for 4 years with no evidence of where he went whatsoever, I honestly can't even imagine how that would feel. It's crazy, honestly, to think about that happening to someone, especially because I saw somewhere that his mom, who was 92, is still alive. And obviously, if I was in that situation, I'd be extremely worried about my son, if I was her. And also the rest of his family as well. Like, this is crazy just to think that someone like that you love and that's so close to you just can go missing without any evidence or anything. And then I can just imagine their reaction 4 years later to know, well, almost 4 years later, to know that at least something has been found, and well, his body has been found as well. And now that they can at least go to sleep at night knowing that they have some closure. And yeah, so anyway, guys, that was a crazy story to tell you guys. If you have any more questions or comments about this story, please let me know down in the comments, and I will get them answered if I can, to the best of my abilities. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I'm very thankful for Beck for having her gut feeling. Otherwise, we would have never solved this. And yeah, so again, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for all your support, and well, like saying thank you and stuff for solving the case. It's because it wasn't really anything that we expected to find, but you know we did, and yeah, it's just mind blowing to me, honestly. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and we honestly don't even want a reward, because the only reward that we want is for the family to have some closure. So thank you guys again so much for watching this video, and I don't even know what to say to you guys. Yeah, thank you, and I will see you guys very soon in the next video. So yeah,